What is up, YouTube? And by now you guys have probably seen the balance changes and the huge update coming to the game that really touches upon the quality of life in Etheria Restart. For example, we have a shell pity now, we have arena loadouts locking, we also have formations saving shell and module formations now, so you can just swap your gear very quickly when you're farming stuff. And you also probably saw that Lilium, the new SSR character, is coming out, which is very exciting because she looks very good. However, I think a very huge part of this patch that a lot of people are looking over because the skill kit for this character was not actually posted here is the new SR unit Nell. Now she's gonna be a dark character available on the Lilium banner, and that means she'll have a rate up as well. So it's basically a banner for her and Lilium. And this means that she will be really easy to get if you just pull on Lilium's banner. And it says that she is a support animist who provides both AoE, vulnerable, and speed buffs. Doesn't really sound that unique, but if you actually look at her skill kit, which they actually released, she looks insane. Now, basically this is the new character coming, like I said, Nell. She is going to be a dark SR unit, Disorder, as you can see. And they also released the skill preview here. And there's no modifiers yet, there's no numbers, so we don't actually know the true amounts. But if we actually look at her skills, you're going to see that she is going to be a very good free-to-play Lily replacement if you don't have her. So her S1 is a single target attack that applies Vulnerable for 2 turns. So Vulnerable is a very good buff, or debuff, sorry. It's because it is a 30% damage increase on the target. Only 3 characters in this game, I believe, have it. Dinah, Messiah, and Diting, but Messiah and Diting, you don't ever really land it that often because they don't have effect accuracy, and when you do, it's really good. Dinah is also gonna have high effect accuracy by nature because she's a debuffer, but the thing is you can't really bring her into a lot of content where she gets either countered, or if you're not like one-shotting the boss, she's not that good because she doesn't really provide that much except like offensive utility, which isn't going to be the best thing in PvE content because a lot of the bosses and shell content, like stuff like that, they're very grindy. However, Nell brings this on her S1 on a single target, and also you'll see on her S3 and AoE while having a lot of support as well. So her S3 or ultimate Searing Sunburst at the bottom here, it's an AoE attack. It gives vulnerable on the enemies for 2 turns, which is great. It's the same as her S1 except AoE, but it also gives your allies a speed buff for 3 turns. So this speed buff's actually better than Lily's. Lily's speed buff is 2 turns, this one is 3 turns. And if you run her with Ling Luo, who can extend buffs, it's a 4-turn speed buff, right? So basically you have permanent speed buff on your team, and speed buff is by far the best buff in PvE because you get to lap the boss, you get to lap whatever you're fighting, you get more skills off, and basically it makes you unkillable while doing more damage because you're cycling faster. So this is just already insane. And on top of that, you're going to see her S2 is a heal, which will heal your ally with the highest attack, and it will also increase that target's turn meter. And this will do it 4 times. So it's a 4-turn attack, and every time it hits, you heal the ally with the highest attack and will increase their turn meter. So this basically works similarly to Lily's S2, right? You're basically pushing up an ally and also giving attack, and since Lily's S2 gives speed buff, you're getting it in your S3. Now, of course, Lily has those forced dual attacks, of course, on the S1, but you get the vulnerable buff, which is going to also be a very powerful debuff on the boss, which will just make you do more damage. So I think overall, even though she might not be as good as Lily, she's going to be pretty damn good in PvE. And if you're lacking Lily on your account, she's going to be a great substitute. I can see that she's going to be amazing for Doki Doki because you just pair her with a defense down character like Kloss or even Gray, who also got buffed. And if you stack defense break and also vulnerable, you'll be able to definitely one-shot the ads in the first wave, which will make her insane there. She's also going to be very good in Aurora because this heal on the S2 is going to be very good at cleansing off that curse shield, right? And also you get speed buff, which will help you heal faster and cycle faster. If you're missing Lily, there's not a lot of good speed buff characters you can use in Aurora. So because of that, she'll be amazing. And even in Terramaton, she'll be good because she can heal your DPS who's getting hit very hard, and also just, give you that speed buff to actually help your team cycle faster to catch up on healing because Terramaton does a lot of damage. Honestly, even in the shell content, she's going to be amazing. She'll be good on pretty much every single boss. And I think the biggest thing for me is that Nell is going to be very good for Rengo Kutsu and also Sharon, the two hardest shell bosses that it's pretty hard to get into, honest. So if we actually look at the shell bosses, for Rengo Kutsu, she'll be very good in any comps that don't use Diting. So if you're using Diting, you still probably will use Vice, but if you're using something like a Yeli or something like that, or even a Chloros who just got buffed, you can see Chloros is used here, or even like a Rosa or Giada who's also fine, then you can actually use her with them and it'll work out, right? Just make sure you're not stacking elements. I think the biggest one is going to be for Sharon though, because Sharon is very hard to do without either Lily or Doki Doki, because it's kind of like a DPS race where if you don't kill the boss fast enough, you just kind of bleed out to the dots because the adds enrage. But because she can actually boost your DPS's turn meter, she'll be able to actually cycle your team very quickly and make your DPS do a lot more damage with that speed buff, and also, you know, the extra turn meter push on your DPS. The vulnerable buff, debuff will not actually land on the boss, so that's, you know, not going to really help you here. But surely the turn meter push and the speed buff will help you do more damage to this boss so you can actually clear it more easier. Obviously Lily is still better, but I still think that, you know, instead of this Doki Doki spot, which is also boosting your speed and giving you turn meter push, I think that Nell can actually be a great substitute if you're using her in a comp like this with like Kachi, Diting, and Fushu. You can literally just slot in Nell and it'll probably work, and I'll definitely be testing it out and showcasing it. But yeah, definitely excited for Nell, guys. I'm gonna be showcasing her for sure on this channel. Whenever she comes out, I'm gonna, you know, probably max just her S3 or S2, depending on what her modifiers look like. And even though she isn't most likely going to be as strong as Lily, she definitely, in my opinion, will be better than the other free-to-play options that people use to replace her. I think mostly people use something like Chiaki the Echo, which has attack buff and turn meter push, but there's already a very good attack buffer in a Valerian in the game, and also because Chiaki the Echo is green, she is hard to use. Another good one that people like to replace Lily with in a lot of team comps, especially in Aurora and Terramatan, is going to be Kazumi Kazuyo, mostly because she has the same thing, the speed buff, which is also going to be 3 turns, and that can also reduce your shell cooldown, but she doesn't really do anything outside of that, which is going to make her kind of like a one skill wonder character. But as you guys saw with Nell's kit, she's going to be a lot more flexible and be able to use a lot of other skills that can, one, heal your characters, especially your DPS, and also apply a very nasty vulnerable debuff that, as you guys know, makes you do 30% more damage to the target, and it will be AoE. So I think Nell is going to be a very, very good character for a lot of free-to-play players out there. I don't know if she'll be better than Lily, but she's definitely going to be a very solid replacement that will work in pretty much all of PvE. So I'll definitely be showcasing her on my channel in the future in pretty much every single boss, so you guys can see how she works and what team comps will work around her. Maybe she ends up being very bad, but I highly doubt it. So if you guys are worried that she won't be that great, even looking at her kit, don't worry, I'll be testing her ASAP when she comes out and you guys can see for yourself. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and thank you always for supporting the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.